How come she gets pants? Welcome to Boldly Go, a newbie journey into the Star Trek Enterprise. And today, we are going to be talking about Where No Man Has Gone Before, which apparently was the name of an episode and not just the general catchphrase. Where No Man Has Gone Before is a very unique episode. At this point, I think it's going to be a trend from what it feels like of people being taken over by things, people possessed. I think this is going to be a trend. I can just tell, even though I'm only on episode 3. I really feel like it's very big in science fiction to have people being possessed, infected, that sort of thing. I think it's just going to happen. So this is the first infection episode, as I'm going to call it. Infection, possession, exorcist, whatever you want to call it. It's the first one for me. So I actually felt this was a very well done episode. I thought it was pretty strong. Let's start with our antagonist, which turns out to be one of Kirk's good friends and one of his own officers, Gary Mitchell. I have to say, what happens with his eyes when he becomes godlike, it's distracting. I can't even tell. I'm terrified they put, aluminum powder in his eye. Is he blind now? I don't even know. I don't... Did they have contacts back then in the 60s? I don't know. It wasn't there. So yeah, but the eyes certainly give him sort of this, because you can't see the pupils of his eyes, which is always very effective. It's very prevalent in comic books, too. It sort of gives you that all-powerful... You don't even need to see with pupils. You're so powerful, you don't even need human eyes to be able to see and be able to use your powers and, destroy things, essentially. Really, you can destroy stuff, you just sort of point and click in villain talk. But anyways, so I thought Gary was well done. I thought it was very, I thought it presented a good challenge for Kirk, for him to, for him having to sort of fight with himself on whether this man poses a big enough threat to reasonably kill him or maroon him. And I feel like this was a good struggle within himself, and I actually thought it was well acted out. I'm not gonna lie, William Shatner, as much as I love him, I love some of his newer work, I follow him on Twitter, I think he's awesome, but definitely the acting, and I think that the acting from everybody in the original Star, a little hokey. Feel free to flame me if you really want to, but I think that's sort of one of the prevalent themes from what I've seen of other people satirizing Star Trek. It's hokey. Let's all admit it's hokey and move on. But this was actually, I thought, very well done for the most part. Now let's talk about our other eventual antagonist, which is Dr. Dana, Elizabeth Dana. She got pants, so yay! Feminism's slow to come, but she's got pants, so that's pretty cool. But, and I also feel like this is going to become a trend. I feel it coming. I feel it coming that this is going to happen more than once. A woman who is in a position of power, in a position of authority, an intellectual, giving it up for a guy. Now, in her defense, she is being possessed by a thing. And I'm going to reasonably attribute all of the ridiculous stuff she does to the fact that she is possessed. And I'm going to go with that. Because I really think in her right mind, she wouldn't have done half the things she does. And she wouldn't follow this godlike creature just because he's a godlike creature. Because I really feel like up until when she was struck, when they hit the barrier, when she was struck by whatever it is that possessed the two of them, I really feel like this wasn't her normal personality up until this point. So, I really It didn't seem like that was her. As a psychiatrist, she would be able to read much better in human emotions, and I feel like she'd be better pulling herself out of them. So, for me, I'm gonna, like I said, this is my theory. The thing is, they never fully explain it, and that's one of the things about science fiction. You can't always fully explain all aspects of it, otherwise you really have to do a lot of research, I understand, especially when you're in sort of this new show, you know, you want to put as much sort of technical talk into it to make it seem authentic, but you don't want to over-explain, and I understand why, because you're going to lose your audience. So, you know, put as much techno talk, techno babble, whatever, in there as you need to make it feel authentic, make it make sense in ways that we, the audience who are not scientists, can understand, and then move on with the product. And I thought this was very well done. I thought they did a good job with that. This was mostly a Kirk episode. Now, we did not have McCoy in this episode, which I thought was weird. The head doctor was somebody else. I feel like maybe they actually filmed this earlier before McCoy. I could be wrong. I didn't look it up. But I thought it was weird that McCoy just wasn't there at all. I thought that was odd. So, because I like McCoy. I really do. I like McCoy and I look forward to him. But we didn't get McCoy, but we got Scotty. This is Scotty's first episode. Super excited. I love Scotty. Scotty has always been my favorite from the 90s movies that I have seen. An Undiscovered Country, The Final Frontier. I hope that's the name of a movie, Wrath of Khan. I love Scotty. Scotty's my favorite character, one of my favorite characters, besides all of them, really. But, so, I was excited to see Scotty. And of course, for me, because I've seen all these characters older, which I probably should have said in an earlier episode, I've seen all of these characters in their older forms, like in their late 40s, early 50s. Seeing them young is odd. It is very odd to me. Because I'm trying to figure out who's who, and the fact that Scotty has black hair. He doesn't have a mustache. When did that happen? So, it's been very interesting to see the characters in their younger forms, since I grew up with them being older. So it's pretty cool. It's nice to see the origins. I feel like I'm pulling a Star Wars here and doing prequels before the main, watching the main, then the prequels, but it could be worse. Seems to be a trend in Hollywood, with The Hobbit, and it just seems to be a thing, so we'll go with it. But the episode overall, I felt like the storyline of the episode was strong. There were really good writing aspects in this. I really appreciated like I said, the argument, the internal struggle within Kirk. I also liked the subtle references to modern day theological philosophy. There was a lot of philosophy in this, which I thought was very interesting. If man has so much power, does he lose his humanity? Is he too human to have the powers of a god? I liked it. These were very good philosophical questions. They weren't delved into deeply, but I feel like that was a plus as opposed to a detraction, because you don't want to delve too much into the deeper questions. It's really more for like a movie than an hour-long episode, because an hour-long episode you're trying to get from point A to point B and make it make sense, and I understand that. So yeah, so far my favorite episode. I really liked it. I thought it was well done. The only down point for me is the fact that a strong, intelligent, qualified female character sort of dropped everything for a man, but again, I'm going to pull she was possessed, and I'm going to go with that. I'm going to say that's what happened. So, let's get to my Tribble rating. So, my Tribble rating, you will see tribbles at the bottom of the screen. It's always from 1 to 5, and I am giving this episode a solid 4 tribbles. I thought this was very well done. I thought it was a very good premise, and I thought it gave us more it helped us learn more about the characters. And it was the first one that's not like this, because I love Scotty so much, and he was just awesome. So, anyways, that is it for today, and I will see you guys for the next episode. See ya.